Time now for the Morning Rush.
We start with Kristen Curry.
Good morning. Looking at lots of sunshine today. That'll help melt off all that snow we accumulated over the weekend. Tomorrow, over the north and northeast, there is the possibility of showers moving in. They'll be isolated in coverage and intensity. Most of this storm system will actually stay well to our north. Adam?
President Trump has passed the first 100-day mark today, and it came and went over the weekend without the Republican-controlled Congress passing any major legislation. Lawmakers might hold a vote this week on a revised bill that would repeal and replace Obamacare. The latest version eliminates a requirement that insurers charge healthy and seriously ill customers the same rate.
On to new news this morning. A controversial counterterrorism aide to President Trump is expected to leave the White House. According to CNN, Sebastian Gorka will leave his post. Gorka has reportedly been generating too much controversy for the White House. He's a former Breitbart news editor who's been working as a deputy assistant to Trump, serving on the National Security Council. He would be the fourth person to leave or be removed from the council.
On to the other news this morning. The White House says it'll pick up the tab for the missile defense system that's being installed in South Korea. A White House national security advisor told its South Korean counterpart that the U.S. will continue to bear the cost of the missile system THAAD. That system is designed to protect against the threat of missiles from North Korea.
On to news happening today. The man accused of shooting up his own neighborhood is set to begin his jury trial this morning. Derek Foote was arrested last July, accused of shooting several homes near Tramway and Copper 2 nights in a row. Among the homes hit, one with a couple and a new baby. They say they huddled in the bathtub for safety. Foote's trial is expected to take 4 days. It's expected to begin at 8:30 this morning.
A Walmart spokesperson says they're now looking into how a disabled man was treated inside a local nail salon. Janessa Williams and Vanessa Blue say on Saturday night at the Regal Nail Salon and Spa inside Walmart on Coors, an employee used a broom to keep the man out. They say the worker even hit him with it, but the manager says the staff member was sweeping and had asked the man to move.
Police still need your help this morning as officers investigate a homicide in southeast Albuquerque. APD says 42-year-old Harvey Saavedra was a man found dead near Zuni in Pennsylvania Friday night. Police have not made any arrests. They're now looking for the person seen here who may be holding a gun. If you have any information about the crime, you're asked to call police.
On to this next story. New overnight, one person is dead, at least 7 others wounded after a man opened fire at an apartment complex swimming pool in San Diego last night. A large group of people was celebrating a birthday party when the shooting began. Police shot and killed the suspect after they say he pointed the weapon at officers. The motive unclear at this point.
3 boaters safe this morning after being reported missing in the Rio Grande. Crews from several fire departments joined the search yesterday afternoon after reports that a kayaker had fallen into the water. Rio Rancho Fire Rescue then tells us during that search, a canoe near Corrales also overturned, leaving 2 people in the water. After a 90-minute search, all 3 boaters were found safe.
Tomorrow, the much-anticipated special soda tax election kicks off in Santa Fe. Voters will decide whether to adopt a soda tax of 2 cents per ounce to expand early childhood education services. Tomorrow, there will be 8 voting centers open across Santa Fe from 7 to 7. The election's costing the city around $85,000. We're going to stay on top of the election on air, online, and on the news app.
Okay, dog owners, listen up. Animal welfare reps say they're seeing an uptick in parvovirus. Parvo affects unvaccinated dogs and puppies, and when left untreated, it can be deadly. A sick dog can easily spread the disease to another dog by things it comes in contact with, like dirt, grass, even sidewalks. It can be treatable if it's caught early. You can find more information about parvo and tips on how to protect your pup on our website, KRQE.com.
Weather moves to the mid-Atlantic and northeast states. Over the weekend, a massive and deadly storm system swept across the south and Midwest with heavy rain flooding roadways and strong winds knocking down trees and power lines. The storm even brought a late-season blizzard to western Kansas. Tornadoes struck several small towns in eastern Texas, killing at least 4 people. We will continue to track that storm moving to the east. It's the same storm system that brought us the rain and snow over the weekend, but as it moves away from us, more sunshine and warmer temperatures building in. That's why that Metro Threat Index is at a 0 today. Nothing but a little bit of wind, about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Adam?
Happening today, Albuquerque's newest hotel just outside Old Town is expected to open. That's according to the Albuquerque Journal. Here's what it looked like back in October. Hotel Chaco's right next to Hotel Albuquerque, and it's the only heritage hotel to be built from the ground up. It's inspired by Chaco Canyon, and it's expected to be a big draw for the city. It'll feature 118 luxury rooms and a rooftop bar with a 360-degree view of the Duke City. Sarah?
This morning, an Albuquerque man is searching for the owners of a painting in which military documents were hidden behind it. Greg Nelson took to social media for assistance. That led him to New Mexico Department of Veteran Services. Deputy Secretary Alan Martinez has contacted who he believes to be the man's nephew. He's waiting for that response. Who the letters were addressed to coming up in the 5 Facts. Crystal?
New this morning, possible spoiler alert, a hacker claims to release several episodes of the upcoming season of Netflix's Orange is the New Black. The hacker made the announcement on Twitter and posted a link to an illegal file sharing service. They didn't stop there either. The hacker also demanded a ransom from Netflix. Netflix says the hack occurred at a post-production studio that was used by several major studios. The FBI is now investigating.
Today is May Day, otherwise known as International Workers' Day. For some, it's a day of protest, highlighting the need for workers' rights. There are rallies planned across the country today, with participants expected to demand better pay and working conditions.
Time now for checking your Monday morning commute. No major accidents to slow you down this morning. Looking pretty good on I-25 and I-40. Just a little sluggish Paseo eastbound between Jefferson and Ventura.
Listen to this, a New York public restroom is getting a lot of attention this morning as a tourist attraction. That's because it just had a $300,000 makeover. It now has imported tiling, crown molding, new fancy fixtures, classical music, and bouquets of flowers wafting into the breeze.
Wow.
And of course, a full-time attendant.
To make sure that you don't damage all of
In
that.
case you're wondering, it's privately funded as well.
Interesting. Okay, finally this morning, if you'd rather sleep than sweat, like myself, a British gym has launched a new fitness class just for you. It's called Napper Size. It's pretty much just people taking a nap for 45 minutes. The owners of David Lloyd Gym say they got the idea after a new study found that 86% of parents were fatigued. Participants get single beds, which means they show up and then curl up.
It's actually kind of a good idea.
Yeah, I kind of like this idea.
If you just sent people home to sleep, they probably wouldn't, you know?
They wouldn't.
Yeah.
So there you go. Time now for the 5 Facts.
Number 5 this morning, a lot of people are talking about a mystery artist and the work that they're leaving behind downtown. Their latest piece popped up on the sidewalk in front of Albuquerque Coffee House of a bird. There are similar works outside other downtown coffee spots, including Zindo and Java Joe's.
Pretty cool. Number 4 now. This morning, an Albuquerque man, as Sarah just mentioned, is continuing his search for the owners of a painting after he found an unexpected treasure trove behind it. Greg Nelson said after buying the painting at Goodwill off of Paseo, he found a letter dating back to 1949, along with military documents, an Air Force newspaper clipping, and a ceremony program. The letter addressed to Colonel Edgar Scattergood, and as you just heard, they believe they found the nephew, but if you know anything about this or if you're a family member, please contact them.
At number 3, warmer temperatures across the state today. Albuquerque getting back to the 70s underneath the sunny sky. Winds out of the west about 10 to 20. Warmer temperatures tomorrow, although a few spotty showers likely over the north and northeast. Cooler but still sunny as we enter into midweek.
Number 2, we're expecting to learn more today about a deadly officer-involved shooting over the weekend involving a Santa Fe police officer. That officer is likely on standard administrative leave. Police are waiting on an autopsy, which is expected to be done this week to identify the suspect. Officials say it happened in El Dorado Saturday night during the arrest of a man in a stolen car incident. Officials say the suspect jumped in a patrol car, put it in drive, and then pinned an officer between the car and a tree. Soon after, a Santa Fe police officer fired a lethal shot into the suspect's stomach. That officer was treated for a leg injury.
On to number 1 now. The House is expected to vote on a massive spending bill to avoid a government shutdown this week before sending it to the Senate for approval. They must get it approved by Friday night's deadline. This after congressional leaders reached a tentative deal late last night. This will keep the government running through September. It's pretty huge for New Mexico since we rely heavily on federal funding, which with our numerous labs, military institutions, and federally funded programs. Lawmakers have until Friday, May 5th to pass this. One thing missing from that spending bill, President Trump's border wall. If you want to read more on this story, go to our website. That's KRQE.com.